It's difficult to resist the appeal of a beagle's dark brown or hazel eyes, with his soft, pleading expression. They're happy, outgoing, and loving, characteristics more than balanced out by their hound nature, which is inquisitive, determined, and focused on food. They aren't yappy dogs, but they do have three distinct vocalizations: a bark/growl, a baying howl, and a half-baying howl, a cross between a frantic bark and a bay. The half-howl vocalization usually is reserved for when they catch sight of quarry, or think it's time to wake the neighbors at 6 a.m. Being pack dogs, they generally get along well with other animals and their human friends, and they think everyone is their new best friend. The most important thing to know about the Beagle is that he is a scent hound. His nose is the most important part of his anatomy, and his head is always down to the ground, searching for an interesting trail to follow. Beagles have approximately 220 million scent receptors compared to the paltry 5 million or so in people, which makes them very good at picking up scents. Humorist Dave Barry once described his in-law's Beagle as a nose with feet. You may have seen the Beagle's nose at work at airports across the country. In 1984, the U.S. Department of Agriculture decided to use beagles to sniff out contraband food being brought into the United States at the Los Angeles International Airport. The experiment was a huge success. Because they are small, friendly, and cute, the beagles didn't intimidate people who are afraid of dogs, and with their super nose power, they could be trained to identify specific food articles while bypassing those that weren't contraband. Today, members of the Beagle Brigade patrol the baggage claim areas at more than 20 international airports and other points of entry into the United States. Although they've branched out into other fields of work, beagles remain superb hunters of small game. The National Beagle Club's Institute Farm hosts AKC-sanctioned field trials where breeders with packs are put to the test in the field. Many other countries have similar activities for hunting beagles. Because of their small size and gentle temperament, beagles can do well in apartments if their people are willing to walk them on leads several times a day in all kinds of weather. They need plenty of exercise, about an hour a day if possible. If left alone and unexercised, beagles can become destructive. Temperament: friendly, playful, and compact, it's no wonder the beagle has long been a family favorite. These high-energy hounds need plenty of daily exercise, but once properly exhausted they're more than happy to hang at home with their people. Beagles love to play. They make great companions for children and do well with cats and other dogs. As with any breed, it's important to properly socialize your beagle from a young age so she can learn to play nicely and not get too rough. It's also important to teach children how to properly interact with dogs and always supervise them when playing with any dog. It's no surprise beagles are loud. We bred that into them, says Brian Kilcommons, founder of the Great Pets Resort, a training facility in Connecticut. When a beagle is running in the field in those big circles, the baying does two things. 1, it spooks the rabbits out of hiding, and 2, it lets the hunter know where the dog is. Because of their tendency to bark, beagles can make good alert systems, letting their owners know the moment a neighbor or delivery man starts walking up to the house. Just don't expect them to follow up with anything other than a welcoming wag of the tail. Because of their noise level and high prey drive, this breed can become a handful if not properly trained and cared for. These pack hounds are also happiest with company and shouldn't be left alone for too long. If your beagle becomes lonely or bored, she will howl for hours on end. Beagles are smart, curious dogs, but don't expect them to immediately obey your every command. She'd much rather follow her nose and explore than sit on cue. It's very possible to train a beagle, but it will require lots of patience and consistent positive reinforcement training sessions. Make sure you have plenty of treats on hand, because what may take certain breeds 20 minutes to learn, with a beagle you're probably talking about 2 weeks, Kilcommons says. But once she's well trained, a beagle makes a great and obedient dog. Coupled with their fine-tuned sense of smell and friendly faces, this breed is favored by the United States Department of Agriculture at airports and entry points across the country. Beagles were bred to have their nose on the ground, get a scent, and follow it. The brain basically goes into overdrive on scent work, Kill Commons says. Highlights. Beagles can be difficult to house train. Some people say it can take up to a year to fully house train some beagles. Crate training is absolutely recommended. Beagles can get bored if left alone in a house too long. If left in a backyard, beagles will start finding ways to amuse themselves, usually by howling, digging, or trying to escape. The most common reason beagles are turned over to rescue groups is because either their owners or their owners' neighbors got tired of their baying. Be sure that you are prepared to work with your dog to control excessive barking and howling. Beagles are targets for thieves who would steal them and perhaps sell them to research laboratories for use in experiments. Supervise your beagle when he is outdoors and be sure to have him microchipped. Since they are scent hounds, beagles will wander off if they catch an enticing smell in the air. Their noses control their brains, and if they smell something interesting, nothing else exists in their world. Although they are loving and gentle, beagles can have an independent, stubborn streak. Obedience training is recommended, but be sure the instructor of the class understands hound personality and favors using food as a reward, which few beagles can resist. Do you remember how the famous cartoon beagle Snoopy worried about his food bowl? Beagles are chow hounds and will overeat if given a chance. Monitor the amount of food you give them and be sure to keep your cupboards closed and your trash can secured. Otherwise, your beagle will sniff out the foods he likes the best. In regards to food, your beagle probably will take its food bowl pretty seriously. Teach children to respect your beagle while it is eating, and not to approach it or tease it with food. Beagles are not good protection or guard dogs because they're usually friendly to everyone they meet. Children and other pets. Beagles bond with everyone in the family, especially children. They can be rambunctious when playing, however, so they need to be properly socialized and supervised with very young children. In addition, beagles tend to be mouthy, grabbing things, including your or your child's hand, with their mouths to play. They do this in fun and can be trained not to do this. As with every breed, you should always teach children how to approach and touch dogs, and supervise any interactions. Teach your child never to approach any dog while he's eating or sleeping or to try to take the dog's food away. No dog, no matter how friendly, should ever be left unsupervised with a child. Because of their pack dog heritage, beagles enjoy company and don't like to be left alone. Another dog or even a cat will help meet their companionship needs. Fun facts. Snoopy, from the long-running Peanuts comic strip, is perhaps the most famous beagle in the world. The Snoopy character was inspired by the Schultz's family dog, Spike. The beagle's white-tipped tail actually serves a purpose. When out hunting, the white makes it easier to track through the woods and tall grass, like a little white flag bobbing through the brush. Lyndon B. Johnson had 3 beagles in the White House during his presidency: him, her, and Edgar. Beagles have had starring roles in many big-screen productions, most famously Cats and Dogs, Shiloh, and John Wick, where the entire plot of the film revolves around the titular character's beloved beagle puppy Daisy. Are you thinking about getting a beagle? Let us know what you decide in the comments below. And if you know someone who's thinking about getting a beagle, please share this with them. If you liked this video, check out our website, the link is in the description of this video. Otherwise, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.